MSMY. So far, they've been moving. They've been staying steady going across their graph. They had some slight ups and downs, but they've been holding in a pretty good line. Where if they keep on going, they're gonna, once the float's filled and once they get to the point where their volume increases, their sales are looking good. So as long as their revenue keeps coming in, this company is a little undervalued in my opinion. It can definitely shoot up. When you look at a graph and you go across, I would say right now that if you're buying them under 0.03, you're doing good. So under a 0.03, once they go up above that and stay up above and go to 0.04, maybe a 0.05 and keep climbing, I don't see them coming back down below that 0.03 mark. Right now, they've been on a steady trajectory where they do go through, but they're staying on a pretty good 50-day going across. And as they keep bumping up a little bit, yeah, they're going to come back down. But then they keep raising their bar each time they do. Since May, they've came across to July. They went up, came down a little bit, and then they shoot up, go across, come down, shoot up. So they've had some nice work going on with their slow build, and they're definitely taking their time with making sure that they just don't rock it out. But once they do, I can see them definitely going up quite a bit. From, if you go back to last November, and since we're in September, if you think that, look at where they've raised their bar to. Now, if you get through September, October, and go into November, and then maybe see a shoot up again at the end of October, going into November, they stay steady, but November to December, you get some more quarterly reports in, and then by January, you might see another shoot up there, and then that way they can go across and they'll work another 6 months, and then you can see where they shot up in July. So in January and July this year, they had these increases that then from there they just kept their trajectory on their graph going. They have some nice work going on for them. If you look back, you can see in 2018 where they shot up. And then in 2020, I put a blue line where they stayed steady. They didn't necessarily have a drop during the pandemic. They kind of stayed on a nice line going across until they hit 2021 and they rebounded. So through everything from 2018 to 2021, they've kept their bar raised prior to where they were in 2017, and they've definitely continued to grow with the growth, and they've been steady going towards that 0.03 mark. Right now, when I look at a graph, and I look at especially like their last 3 months, and you kind of see where they were, I would say like if they drop below a 0.018, that's where I might consider selling. A hold is a definite, like if you're around 0.028, you're at a strong hold. But if you're below that 0.038, I would still say that they're a strong buy hold. And I still think they're a good stock to buy under 0.048. That was kind of their peak. And when they hit that 0.048, they set that next bar of resistance for their high bar. So if they can get up above that 0.048, go to a 0.05, they can definitely climb up above that 0.05 mark, showing that ability to be able to do that. Right now, if they're underneath a 0.03, I think they're a strong buy. If they're between a 0.03 and a 0.04, I think there's still a strong buy. Once they get above the 0.04 to 0.05, I think that's your next last good buy before once they go above the 0.05, maybe they take off and maybe they could go to 10 cents or something in the future. So before they get going on a high trajectory somewhere and at least go to a penny, I mean, go to 10 cents, they've already, I don't see them going back to it being at a penny. So for a penny stock, this is one that's definitely been on my radar that I think has potential to come in. They have the revenue, they have the numbers. It's definitely, as their float fills up, once their outstanding shares are already filled, you'll definitely see this raise up and give you some potential in the future. I think it's a long hold for a couple years to see an awesome gain on it. It could be a short-term play for those playing short terms, but I think looking at 6 months to 2 years down the road, you'll definitely see some potential fruition come out of this stock. With MSMY, when you look at them, they're past some resistance marks where, like I said, if you're buying in between 0.02 and 0.04, I think you're going to do solid on this stock as a return. Once they go past that 4 cents, I think that if you're buying in between 4 cents and 0.048 right there, you're going to do good on them. But once they go to 10 cents, they could rocket up from there. This shows another graph where if you go through on looking at where their bottom would be, I would say that if they hit that 0.012 mark, maybe I would get worried about things. But as long as they're staying above that 0.024 to 0.036, I think you're doing pretty solid with a buy and hold in there. I wouldn't really worry about selling off or them dropping down below that. I think 0.024 is kind of their bottom rung where they're staying on a new hold trajectory, leveling up. And then once they get through resistance and they stay above 0.036, then you might see them continue to climb and they'll raise their bar again and continue a nice pattern going up. And then as they go up, they'll go through 0.04 to 0.048 and keep climbing themselves and raising their bars slightly at a time. MSMY, looking at their market cap, it says 406,000. I think that they're definitely undervalued on where they're at. They've had a solid gain from where they were and started over a 52-week range. This shows their market cap at 6.43 million then when I went to this one. About them, they're a manufacturer of natural disaster-resistant building systems. The company utilizes steel tube framing systems and rigid closed cell foam insulation and construction of their products. With the more storms coming, the more disasters, they're definitely going to be someone that's on people's maps. Go to www.msendavors.com